What's up, y'all? So, have you ever wondered why some people just seem so much more talented at things, so much more naturally skilled at certain topics or certain areas? I've always wondered too. So, recently I came across a book called The Frames of Mind. And basically, the book is about how different people have different areas of intelligence that they specialize in, and it attempts to explain how some people are like naturals basically. So I want to discuss in this video here, so let's get into it. Basically, the book divides the intelligences into 9 different categories. So our first one is the naturalist. The naturalist is somebody who can easily spot changes in their surroundings. They're very much in tune with nature. They're very observant and they can distinguish colors, shapes, and movements outside their environment. And they also have a great sense of direction. So you ever wonder why some people just seem to like know where things are around them? Like, I know some people who have lived in the same city their entire lives, yet they don't know any of the street numbers, any of the street names, and they can barely tell you the directions of how to get somewhere that's like 5 minutes away. So it's definitely amazing how some people have the ability to do that just naturally. The second type of intelligence will be classified as musical. You know, those people who just seem so talented, so lyrically talented, so instrumentally talented. Those people. These people tend to have the ability to like distinguish between pitches and rhythms and timbre and tone, all those different things. They can also like reproduce sounds that they hear. They can create them, they can reflect on music, they can see music almost from an emotional side. They're almost able to take music and make it more powerful than what it is. And it's not just people who can sing or people who can, play instruments. There are people who compose, people who are conductors, people who are vocalists, people who just have a sensitive ear. They're able to understand the music on like an individual note level. It's almost as if music is a math or a science to them. They just get it. And oftentimes I think of these people as if they're like sound engineers and things like that. But there's so many different areas within music that people are talented in that, I've never even considered or heard of. And then our third one, which is a person who holds logical and mathematical intelligence. Those people who seem to like be able to calculate things so easily, they can listen to the most complicated thing and form a hypothesis or a thesis or whatever they call those things. I don't even know. They're just able to understand things that are almost abstract in a way, but they're able to turn it into a mathematical equation. They have great deductive skills. They're able to think of things and break it down from a more complex level to something more simple. These are usually people like scientists or mathematicians or detectives, things like that. Ultimately, they're more concerned with how things work than what they are. Then we have our fourth type of intelligence, which is existential. I think I said that right. But yeah, existential intelligence is when people are able to perceive or recognize some of the deeper questions about the human existence. Like, what's the meaning of life? Why are we here? Things like that. This was pretty basic on the surface, but it definitely does make me think like, does everybody consider those questions at all? So that's definitely one to keep in mind. Our next one is interpersonal. Now, these are people who we would consider like our socialites, people who are extroverts, people who are really, really skilled in talking to other people, communicating to people, and just being able to be more social than the average person. It's very interesting how communication works. I always like to remember that most communication is like nonverbal. So things like body language, things like energy, things like mood changes, all those different things. People who are skilled at interpersonal intelligence, they're able to read those types of things. They're able to know when somebody isn't feeling good. They're able to tell when they say something and it instantly brings the mood of the room down. I'm sure we've met people who don't have that ability. So I think that being able to do that is a skill as well. All right, our next one is bodily and kinesthetic intelligence. These are people who like are able to have that really, really good mind-body connection in the sense that they're usually like athletes, people who are able to manipulate their body in a certain way that average people can't. And then you got people who are really, really precise, like surgeons, and they're able to do things very accurately using their body. Weightlifters, bodybuilders, things like that. And I do think it's kind of weird how surgeons and bodybuilders in the same category. Anyways, our seventh one is linguistic intelligence. Linguistic intelligence is when you're able to use words to paint a picture. You just know that what you're saying is impacting people on multiple levels. You're able to use your words to paint a picture for that person to understand. Think about how some people are storytellers. They're able to take one simple thing and articulate it and be able to describe it to you in a way that you almost believe that you were there too. That's a skill. Oftentimes, these are also people who are writers. It's really, really interesting to think about. Number 8 is intrapersonal skills. These are people who typically are able to understand themselves on a much higher level. There's always this talk nowadays about how people have to find themselves and they almost don't even know their next move. Intrapersonally skilled people are able to know exactly who they are, what their purpose is, what they're here to do, what they're here to accomplish, what their goals are, and they're able to go out and accomplish them in a much more efficient manner. And then finally, we have number 9, which is spatial intelligence. Now, we're not talking about outer space here. We're talking about people who are able to use their artistic skills, their artistry, people who are like painters or people who are able to draw, people who are able to take an abstract thought and put it onto a canvas and articulate it in a certain sense. A great example of this would be like a person who loves to do puzzles or loves to solve mazes, people who love to have solutions to problems. I think it's really interesting when you think about it. But yeah, guys, like after looking over this book, I definitely had like a different viewpoint on things, or at least helped me, visualize how different many people can be. I feel like many people misinterpret the book in that they think that it's saying that there's only 9 areas where people can be skilled at, and you have to be one of the 9, otherwise, you're completely invalidated. But I think what it's really saying is like, you can be skilled in multiple different areas, but it also explains why some people are just so naturally talented in each of those different fields. There's a reason why some people are so much better at learning different languages. They can speak 4, 5, 6 languages. There's a reason why some people can be out in nature. They can go out camping every week or every single day. They can go create a farm. They can live in the mountains. There's a reason why some people are so musically talented. They can sing, they can dance, they can play an instrument. There's a reason for all those things. So I definitely believe that some of the ideas in there are great to keep in mind and just great to think about. And I think my final thought is, if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, that fish is gonna ultimately believe that it's not good enough. And I think that's something we can definitely all learn from. So yeah, if you enjoy videos like this, be sure to hit that like button below, drop a comment, and also follow me on my socials, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter, and subscribe for more.